Welcome back to Trending Worldwide. It's your boy Jai, your emotional support hoodie, the man with the plan, the face that runs the place, and the dude with today's mood, which is heavy, not chaotic, not dramatic, just tired. Kind of tired that just lives in your bones. The kind that doesn't go away with sleep. The kind that comes from holding everyone else while no one holds you. Side note, um it's been 2 weeks and I had a lot of stuff to do and take care of, so I appreciate everybody telling me how much they were looking forward to the next episode. Me receiving over 170 listens within days means a lot, so thank all my listeners from around the world, and you won't be disappointed with this one. So this one's gonna be a treat, trust, because this episode is called "The Strong Friend is Tired", muy cansado. And if you've ever been the one who listens, who holds space, who never gets checked on, this one's for you. Because strength without support isn't noble, it's neglect. We're not here to perform resilience today. We're here to name the weight of being the emotional anchor, the weight of being the one who always shows up, the weight of being the safe space even when you're falling apart. I want to talk to the people who smile through breakdowns, the ones who give advice they wish someone would give them, the ones who say, "I'm good," with a voice that's pretty shaky. I see you. And I want you to know that you don't have to earn rest. You don't have to explain your exhaustion. You don't even have to be strong every day. This episode is a soft landing, a quiet room, a mirror. We're going to talk about emotional labor, cultural expectations, and the quiet grief of being the reliable one. We're going to name the burnout. We're going to honor the silence. We're going to let the strong friend rest, for sure. So if you're tired, sit with me. If you're unraveling quietly, you're not alone. So let's talk about it. Let's start with the role itself, the strong friend. The strong friend is the one who gives advice but never asks for it, right? The one who checks in but rarely gets checked on, the one who's always okay until they're not. They're the one people call when they're falling apart. The one who listens without interrupting, the one who holds space like it's their job, even when they're running on empty. But here's the thing, the strong friend didn't choose the role, they were assigned it. Maybe they were the oldest sibling. Maybe they were raised by silence. Maybe they learned early that being soft wasn't safe. So they became the stable one, the grounded one, the one who never asked for help because help never came when they needed it, you know? And now they're tired, they're exhausted, not just physically, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, because strength without softness is a slow collapse. And the strong friend, they're collapsing quietly. They're the ones who say, "I'm good," with a voice that's shaky. They do. The ones who laugh through grief, the ones who disappear for a few days, not because they're busy, but because they're breaking and nobody notices because they're the strong friend. They're the ones who get labeled resilient when they're really just unsupported. They're the ones who get praised for being low maintenance when they've just stopped asking for care. They're the ones who get called emotionally mature when they've just mastered the art of suppression. And it's not just personal, it's cultural. In a world that rewards detachment, the strong friend becomes a symbol, a myth, a utility. But they're human, like everybody else. They cry in silence, they journal in fragments, they pray for someone to ask, "How are you really?" And when no one does, they keep showing up because that's what they do. But here's the truth, the strong friend is not invincible. They're not immune to heartbreak. They're not above needing care. They just got good at hiding it. And that's not strength, that's survival. So today, we're calling it out. We're naming it the exhaustion. Like, we're naming the silence. We're naming the grief that comes from being the one who holds everyone while no one holds them because the strong friend is tired and they deserve rest. Not when they break, not when they burn out, not when they disappear, but now, right now. Take a deep breath, inhale softness, and exhale performance. If you've ever felt this in your body, this quiet ache, stay with me. We're just getting started. So, let me tell you about a time I realized I was a strong friend and it was costing me. I was going through something heavy, real heavy. Not the kind of heavy you can post about, not the kind of heavy that gets sympathy, the kind of heavy that makes you question your worth, right? The kind that makes you stare at the ceiling at 3 a.m. wondering if anyone would notice if you disappeared for a while. And I didn't tell nobody. Not because I didn't have the people, but because I didn't want to be a burden. I didn't want to break the image. I didn't want to be too much. So I smiled, I showed up, I gave advice, and inside, I was unraveling. I remember one day someone texted me, "You're always so grounded. I wish I had your peace." And I stared at that message like it was a joke because I wasn't grounded. I was just good at hiding. I was just good at performing strength. I was just good at making my breakdowns look like boundaries. That right there is the trap of being the strong friend. You become so good at holding others that you forget how to be held. You become so used to being the safe space that you forget you deserve one too. Like, and when you finally fall apart, people don't know what to do with you. They panic, they pull away, they see things like, you're not acting like yourself. But the truth is, you're finally being yourself. You're finally letting the mask slip and you're finally saying, I'm not okay. I don't know, like, I don't want to pretend no more. I remember the first time I said that out loud, and I was sitting in my car, parked outside of the store, and I had just finished a phone call where I gave someone advice about their breakup. And the moment I hung up, I was like at a standstill, like I was just blank. Not because of their pain, but because I realized I had no one to call about my issues. That's when I knew I wasn't just tired, I was lonely. I was emotionally overdrawn. I was the strong friend and I was drowning in silence. And the worst part, I had trained everyone around me to believe I didn't need help. I had built a brand around being unbothered. I had made strength look so effortless that people stopped checking in. And when I finally asked for support, some people didn't know how to give it. Others didn't believe I needed it. And a few, they just disappeared. That's when I learned being the strong friend is a role, but it's not an identity. And if you don't retire the role, it will retire you. So I started unlearning. Stay with me. I started saying, I'm not okay without a punchline. I started letting people see me cry. I started asking for help, even when it felt awkward. And slowly I started to heal, not because I stopped being strong, but because I stopped being silent. And if you're listening to this right now and you feel that ache in your chest, that quiet grief of being the one who holds everyone while no one holds you, I see you. You're not weak. You're not dramatic. You're not broken. Trust me, you're just tired and you deserve rest. Take a moment. Think about the last time you asked for help. Did you feel safe? If you want, in the mood of spontaneity, write down one thing you wish someone would ask you. Even further, w- one person you would wish ask you that thing, right? Now, let's talk about where this role comes from. Because being the strong friend isn't just personal, it's cultural, like I said. In black, brown, and working class communities, strength is currency, right? We're taught to endure, not express, to survive, not soften, to hold it down, even when it's breaking us and it makes sense. Our ancestors didn't have the luxury of falling apart. They were surviving systems, surviving violence, surviving silence. So they taught us how to be strong, how to keep going, how to protect ourselves, but they didn't always teach us how to rest. They didn't always teach us how to ask for help. They didn't always teach us how to be held. And now we're carrying emotional habits that were built for survival, not for love. We confuse chaos with passion. We mistake silence for peace. We think love means struggle because that's what we saw. We saw parents who never said, I love you, or said it faintly, but showed it through food protection and sacrifice. We saw friends who joked through trauma because crying felt unsafe. We saw lovers who disappeared when things got too real, not because they didn't care, but because they didn't know how to stay. And we internalized it. We became the strong ones, the ones who never asked for softness, the ones who never expected safety, the ones who love with armor on. But here's the truth: armor is heavy, And strength without softness, it's not sustainable. We need a new blueprint, one where strength includes vulnerability, one where support is mutual, one where the strong friend gets to rest because we're not just healing ourselves, we're healing generations. We're rewriting emotional scripts. We're saying, I can be strong and still cry. I can be grounded and still ask for help. I can be loyal and still need space. And that's revolutionary, especially in communities where emotional labor is expected but rarely named. Okay. We tend to indulge in things that we're not really used to. And that's okay. Because when you start choosing softness, people will test it. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're distant. They'll say you're selfish. But really, you're just choosing yourself. You're just choosing peace. You're just choosing to stop performing strength for people who never ask how you're doing. And that's sacred. That is healing. That's love. So if you're listening to this and you've been the strong one your whole life, I want you to know you don't have to carry it all. You don't have to be the emotional anchor every day. You don't have to inherit silence just because it's familiar. You can choose softness. You can choose safety. You can choose rest. And you're still strong. Think about the emotional habits you inherited. Which ones are you ready to release? So I asked y'all to share what it's like being the strong friend. And the responses, they weren't just stories, they were confessions. They were quiet truths that most people never say out loud. One person said, I give advice I wish someone would give me. Okay. Another said, I check on people while crying in silence. Someone else wrote, I'm scared to fall apart because I don't know who would catch me. And that's the thing about being the strong friend. You become so good at showing up for others that you forget how to be vulnerable with yourself. You become so used to being the emotional anchor that you start sinking quietly. And when you finally ask for help, people don't know what to do with you. They say, you're not acting like yourself, but the truth is, you're finally being honest. You're finally letting the mask slip. You're finally saying, I'm not okay, and I don't want to pretend anymore. So let's getting into the responses that I received. I'm tired of being the emotional ATM. Mm. I listen to everyone's pain, but no one asks about mine. That's deep. I'm scared to be soft because I don't know if it's safe. I'm always the one who remembers birthdays, but no one remembers mine. Mm. I'm not strong. I'm just practiced at hiding. I want someone to check on me without needing something. I want to be held without having to earn it. These aren't just quotes, they're emotional fingerprints. They're proof that the strong friend is everywhere and they're so tired. So let's reflect. If you're the strong friend, what's something you wish people understood about you? That you're not always okay? That you need softness too? That you're not a therapist, a fixer, or a savior? You're a person? And if you're not the strong friend, but you know one, text them, call them, ask them how they're really doing. Not because they're falling apart, but because they deserve care before the collapse. Because emotional labor shouldn't be a one-way street. Because love isn't just about showing up when it's convenient, it's about checking in when there's no crisis. It's about asking, what do you need today? And meaning it. Now, here's the part of the podcast that most of my listeners look forward to, and it's the starter pack. If you're the strong friend learning to rest, this is for you. This is your starter pack. Not for fixing, not for performing, not for holding everyone else, but for you, for your softness, for your silence, and for your healing. Number one, a journal that doesn't ask you to be wise, just honest. You don't have to write poetry. You don't have to be profound. Just write what hurts. Write what you're scared to say out loud. Write what you wish someone would ask you. Number two, a playlist that lets you cry without explanation. In this sense, let's think Solange, Moses Sumney, Cleo Soul. Think lo-fi beats in silence. Think songs that sound like exhaling. Let the music hold you. Let it say what you can't express. 3, a friend who doesn't need you to be okay all the time. Someone who doesn't flinch when you say, I'm not good. Someone who doesn't try to fix you, just sits with you. Someone who sees your strength and still offers softness. Number 4, a boundary that says, I'm not available for emotional labor today. You don't have to explain. You don't have to apologize. You don't have to feel guilty. Rest is not a betrayal. Silence is not selfish. Saying not today is sacred. Number 5, a hoodie that feels like a hug and a reminder you deserve softness too. Wrap yourself in something that feels like safety, something that reminds you you are not just a safe space for others, you are a home for yourself. Number 6, the ability to say, I'm not okay without apologizing for it. Say it. Let it be true. Let it be enough. You don't owe anyone a performance. You don't owe anyone a recovery timeline either. You are allowed to be in process. Number 7, a reminder that being strong doesn't mean being silent. Strength is not suppression. Strength is not isolation. Strength is not pretending. Strength is saying, I need help. I'm overwhelmed. I deserve care. Number 8, a softness ritual. Light a candle, play your favorite song, sit in silence, breathe. Not for productivity, not for clarity, just to exist. This starter pack isn't a checklist. It's a permission slip to rest, to unravel, to be held, because the strong friend is tired and they deserve softness. Not when they break, not when they burn out, but now, right now. So, yeah, strong friend is tired, and not just tired from the day, tired from the years, tired from the silence, tired from being the one who always holds it together. And they deserve rest, not when they collapse, not when they disappear, not when they finally break, but now, at this moment, right now, because strength without support is not sustainable, because emotional labor without excuse me, because emotional labor without being reciprocated is not love, because being needed is not the same as being nurtured. And if you've been the strong friend your whole life, I want you to know you are allowed to be soft. You are allowed to be held. You are allowed to be seen. You don't have to earn care. You don't have to explain your exhaustion either. You don't even have to apologize for your silence. You're not weak. You're not dramatic. And you're not broken. You're just tired and you deserve rest. So take a deep breath. Inhale softness, exhale performance, inhale clarity. Exhale obligation. Now ask yourself, what do I need today that I've been afraid to ask for? This is Trending Worldwide. I'm Jai, pero ya tú sabes. And if you're the one who always shows up, I see you. If you're learning to let yourself be held, I still see you. If you're choosing rest over reputation, I honor you. I just don't confuse I just don't need you to confuse being needed with being loved. Not tonight, not any night. Tonight, you get to be soft. Tonight, you get to be held. Tonight, you get to be more than the role you've been performing. Tonight, you get to be real. You get to be whole. You get to be free. Peace.